been a long time coming, man.
Yes,
Manze.
Can you imagine, Odek, it's been 1 year now since we last did the Men Let's Talk.
Wow.
Guy, time flies.
Time flies. But I'm happy we're getting to do this again.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that this time we'll be consistent.
Yes. Story of our lives.
But we'll be consistent about the different things that we had topics that they're still there that we've not talked about.
Yep.
And it's very interesting that we get to do this again at a new place, which looks very beautiful. But I'm so excited. And today's topic is one of the topics that is coming up soon, where we're talking about men.
Yep.
But Father's Day is coming.
Father's Day is coming, you guys. And I'm just in terms of just being able to be this together, for me is the fact that now we are at different stages in our lives, and just the things that God has been able to do. So sisi ni hawa, sisi ni Buddha
pia hapa. There's a time singefikiria tunaweza sema kitu kama hiyo, lakini angalia Mungu. And how many children do you have now? Unajua watu kupoteleana, 1 year is a long year.
1 year is a long. I still have 3 children.
Okay.
I have 3 boys.
3 boys.
Yeah, so
hapo lazima useme boys.
I'm very deliberate on this, realizing that yes, God has put in my heart a passion for men, but also now to be able to raise men is crazy for me. So I have a 12-year-old, then I have a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. God has been good.
My guy.
God has been good.
Yeah, unakaribia hapo pale.
Responsibilities.
Responsibilities za kufuata tu hapo hivyo. That's awesome. For mimi niko tu na wale watatu. Sijabadilisha, sijaongeza, nilisema ndio mwisho. So there are 3. 14, then there's middle child who's a girl. Hapo ndio kizungumkuti ipo. Unajua sasa wewe ni mwanaume unarekodi na msichana, but it's amazing. Just trying to be there for her because I understand. Then there's the little one who's turned 2 a few weeks ago. And huyo sasa ndio matata. Anatukimbiza
anaweka busy.
Ni boy. What's that boy? 2 boys, 1 girl. So the girl anafiligie ndio princess wa nyumba. Everyone has to listen to her. Alafu kuna huyo sasa kuharibu ule mkubwa yeye anakoga maisha yake.
Msipigie kilele ni last month.
But it's good, and even as we're talking about us being parents, I think the things we've learned through our dads and everything, and especially now that we're in that space, and I think even from the conversation we were having earlier, just talking about because most of the things that we do, we've learned from seeing how our dads were present in our lives. And there are things we've either loved or there are things we've wanted to change. I don't want to use the word hate because that's harsh, but the things we've learned and the things that we want to change on how we raise our sons. I don't know for you how that is, especially now that you have 3 sons.
And I'm glad we're having this conversation because I'm looking forward to hearing your story because I envy the relationship you have with your dad. So I'll wait to hear what that conversation was, how he was like, for me, I think just growing up, one of the things that I had been looking forward to is to have a personal relationship with my kids. Because one of the things that I saw our fathers didn't do was the fact that we never had personal time with our fathers. So Baba alikuwa tu wa kuprovide. So, if you need something, is the time you talk to your dad. The other time you'll talk to your dad is when you've made a mistake.
Mama amesema sasa hii si mtoto wangu wewe deal na yeye.
This one is yours to deal with. So then we used to come home, and then when you walk into the sitting room, you know it is a day for drama by the fact that under his seat, I don't know if he was doing that on purpose, or he was trying to hide but wasn't good at hiding. Under his seat, there would be sticks popping out, like a number of sticks. We knew that day was about to go down.
Do you do that with yourself?
So now, looking at it, so I thought I would never do stuff like that with my kids. Then, as they started to grow up, it's my wife who had to come and tell me, you guys,
cheza kama
vitu zinaharibika. And we've had these conversations even with my older bros, and they are very strict on their kids as well. And we are wondering, we thought this was one of the things we tried, but
It has a way of coming back to you guys.
I've come back, imagine.
That's
So now I'm more deliberate in hanging out with them, sitting down with them in the evening and just asking them, what do you think about me? You know, those are risky questions, but performance contract kind of. What do you think about me? Am I too strict? Am I too, what are the things that my youngest boy still is very careful because he doesn't know why I'm asking this question.
It's a trick question.
Yeah, no, you're okay. But my older boys, then they know to tell me, hey, you're too strict. You shout a lot, like that. So those are the things that
si mimi ni sauti yangu tu ndio kubwa.
Ni loud.
Ni loud. Sasa but nyinyi mnachukua kama kushout.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think for me growing up, so the relationship you see now with my dad is not the relationship that was there before.
Oh.
Okay. So let me backtrack.
Yes.
So one of the things I knew, we're four, have 3 other siblings.
Yes.
So I'm the second one. And so the way my dad used to treat my older sister is not the same way he used to treat him.
Yeah.
Okay. So most of the time I'd find him like if there's something, my sister would be yende angesikizwa kwanza and then mimi.
Yes.
Okay. So I grew up thinking, hey, mumza, kwani rada yake ni gani? And he's one of those guys who he walks into the house ni kumenyamaza.
Yeah.
In fact, akiingia mlikuwa mnaona hata movie noma. Akiingia anaambia ekeni news, alafu analala kwa kiti. So I never used to understand form yako ni gani man.
Yes.
Are you watching na ukiguza tu remote utoe. Akorada zile za boss. So
I was watching
that. So I'm like, okay. So but we had this strenuous relationship.
Yeah.
Where it was more transactional. Where take me to school, do this. In fact, I remember. So the twist was when my sister was going to high school.
Yes.
Manze ni kama tunafanya mbash. Karibu apelekwe na kila msee nini.
Parents
kila mtu karibu aitwe. Mimi nikienda high school niliambiwa bosi yangu. Ile vitu nilipewa ni Bible.
Yo.
Akaniambia hii ni Bible.
Yo.
Hii ndio tunaweza kupatia. Enda nayo shule.
Yes.
Akanipeleka hadi Akamba.
Okay.
Nilikuwa naenda UG.
Yo, you guy. Not even just around here.
No, Akamba bus those days. Kanika kwa basi. UG. Mzee sasa siko na passport.
Are you
So
serious?
nafika boda, I had to find my way into Uganda. Okay. Did that a number of times. So I remember the first time I saw my dad hugging me was actually when I came back from school and I was so sick. Okay. So he hugged me mpaka nikajiza kwani kuna mseme dedi. Ndio mimi mgonjwa lakini kuna mseme tu acha.
Something more serious than I've been prepared.
So he hugged me. I'm like, hey, this is awkward but it's okay, it's fine. So then so there's a time kwanza nikiwa mtu yeye alinichapa.
Yeah.
Alinichapa, unajua ni ule alikuwa akikuchapa unajua kumeharibika.
Yes.
You just get into the house unapata viti zimesongozwa kwa ukuta. Mimi resting.
Yes.
Alinipiga. So I remember asking my mom, hey, is this guy my real dad?
Because there's no way.
Because I was so familiar with my mom. So I was like, is he my real dad? Because venye anani-treat, venye ni tofauti sana. So my mom had to sit him down and tell him, yo, hey, you need to talk to your son.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think he didn't know how to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because how do men talk?
Yes, because even now I realized later that that's the same way his dad used to treat him.
Yes.
In fact, he tells me of a story of how his dad, there's a time alikuwa anaipaga shule.
Yeah.
Akipa shule anaenda kusaidia na kulima.
Okay.
So anafaa kwa class lakini analima ndiye kunywa uji. Umse normally analima na kunywa uji.
Yes.
So siku moja budaki alinitoa mbio. Mpaka alipita wasee katikati ya wasoko parade. Kuna mtu mzee amepita na mbio. So I realized this is how he knew things would happen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he never had a different way.
Yeah.
Okay. So he got this way of anytime we did something, we'd have this family time out where we'd go and have a discussion. So he actually moved from beating to talking.
Oh.
Okay. So he realized as nikipiga huyu kijana isaidii.
Yes.
Ile time alinipiga nilimwambia sikiza buda singoja. Nipeleke Ocha. Yes. That's what I told him.
That it is better for me to
nilimwambia nimechoka na maisha ya Nairobi. Kama ndio maisha ya Nairobi, wacha niende Ushago.
And that now becomes serious.
Yes, so when he had it, he was like, yo. So we started having this talk.
Yes.
Where he'd tell me, okay, do you think this is the right way of doing things? And we had lengthy conversations.
Yeah.
So, but that still, nilikuwa like ni kama unanipima buda, unajua maisha yako sijui kunaendaje. So I remember finishing high school. So sistangu amemaliza high school but anapewa, utaona akienda mahali anapewa ndo nini. Mimi nimemaliza high school, mzee alinipeleka tu kwa ofisi fulani. Akasema kwanza leo patie tu kijana kazi
afanye
kazi.
Yeah. You are no longer my responsibility.
Yes. And I remember going to this space for ilikuwa job za promotion. Nangangana tu. Even campus, like in terms of campus, I realized these are things he never knew.
Yeah.
So now our relationship became better because I just opened up to him and I told him, hey, my guy, I see how you treat my sisters,
yes,
and I see how you treat me. There's a huge disconnect, and I don't understand what it is. And so,
but where was this boldness coming from that you could even? It's from the meetings that you guys have been having.
Sasa nikaa nishakuwa mkubwa. As in, nishakuwa mkubwa because I'm like I have nothing to lose. But one thing that hits inanikumbusha ni even in this conversation. So my dad lost his bro. Okay. And in the process of losing his bro, he said something that was so profound because we went into, you know how wajakas hufanya harambee in the room, and no one showed up for that meeting. It was just me and him.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and then he told me this. He was like, "From today, you've stopped being my son. You're actually my brother, because I've lost a brother." And that showed me how we can actually connect. Okay. And so even me now coming to him and telling me, "Hey, maybe there are things I've seen you do to my sister," it came from that, where I just stopped being a son. I became a brother to him. Yes. And till today, he introduces me like that to his friends. Yeah. That this yes is my son, but he's also a brother to me. Yeah. And so after that, a few things really kuja. So we became really close. The relationship started forming where I would leave wherever I am, go, because I think as I grew older, he started seeing me taking up responsibility. Okay. And he was like, okay, now we can talk. Yeah. Okay. So we started having this where we just to go sit down, talk. I remember even the first time him telling me talking about a girl was when I told him I want to get married. He looked at me later. In fact, he called his friends. Because he didn't know how to handle it. He talked about all these other things, but he
never talked
about getting married. Yes. But I've realized out of the awkwardness, our relationship has grown. Okay, that's all. We can sit somewhere and talk about anything. Yeah. Okay, I tell him, but I make fun of him. But I think even as he grows older, okay, because I kept on asking myself, would I want my kids to ask me about my dad, but I can't tell them because there's no relationship. Yeah. So it's better I start it now, so that by the time they're growing up, they can see there's no gap, that we are all moving the same, that even them they're free to talk to me. So that's how the relationship has been. Where we nowadays he can call me and he calls me just to tell me, sijaongea na siku nyingi. Uko sawa, kwa nini
his version of
nimekuhata. Aniambianga tu nimekumia. But I understand.
Men can't say
the number when I see his call na niambia, hujanitafuta, I know this is you telling me you've missed me.
And so that's the thing. So background is, so Odek has introduced me to his dad, and we've had. So it seemed like these guys have had a relationship that when he sees his son, he comes and he says, "Come, let's go sit down and have a cup of tea."
In fact, it's moved from, there were days we just move, nipatie fare and home, to we actually have to sit down and talk. Just the other day before he traveled, he was going to Shag. We met. It was like, natujakaa chini tukunywe chai. In fact, hata chukua 200 hiyo kwa chai yako uishie.
Yes, because we want to sit down, but we didn't sit down.
And there's a part of me that has gotten alive just from seeing that. And I think it's also because of the different things of how understanding life is not, you can lose someone very fast. Okay? Because in fact, let me say this, after his accident, he had a terrible accident a few years ago. And I think from that accident, it showed me how I can lose him very fast. So I have to utilize the time I have now. Because I remember there are times I just wanted to talk to him, but he's not even in his right mind to talk.
Be able to talk.
Okay? But now that he can talk, okay, and then he has shown me the different versions of himself, when he needs to be serious, when he can cry, Okay? And I've gotten to understand this guy is not Superman. This guy is a human being
Yeah.
who has emotions and everything. So we get and talk about different things, different things that we've never talked about.
Yeah.
He called me and asked me, how are your children?
Yeah.
How are they doing? You've not brought them to me. And I'm like, oh, this has gotten to a different level.
Absolutely.
So that's how I learned it.
Yeah,
Okay?
and that's awesome. And we have had so that is going to develop even more because what you're about to begin to see is the opportunity for that to be translated to your kids, so that you can be at a place where it is him, you, and your son, 3 generations in one place, and you're all getting to glean from each other, where your son can be able to see as you relate with your father, his grandfather, and be able to feel like I am part of this brotherhood that your dad is building. And my only closest to that is now I've gotten the opportunity to live close to my father-in-law. So my dad passed away. Now it's been 13, 12 years. So the only other place I've gotten to get the opportunity for fatherhood is with my father-in-law. So with my father-in-law, now we stay close to them. So now I see that. I see how he adds value into being present around my sons. That now they can be able to have conversations where the kids, he gives instructions and the kids look at me and at him and they're thinking, so
who do we follow?
Yes. But also the realization of, so we are in a circle or a triangle of grandfather, father, and them as sons. And that's an awesome...
Yeah, because when you're mentioning father-in-law, because even my father-in-law plays a very big role.
Yes.
Because my wife is the only child. So literally, I'm the son. Okay, for him.
Yes.
So in fact, I used to feel weird because he would ask me some questions and I'm like, hey, watujafika hapo. But I've realized he's just forming relationship with me. Okay? And I see it with our sons, how he handles them. Okay? There's a time nimewapata kwa boda wote wawili. Yeye na first son wetu. So mtu wa boda, first son, alafu yeye. I'm like, hey, ini different. Where it's not that more of, the culture would have been, I'd rather pay for 2 bodas to get us there than this. But it's part of the relationship where at the end of the day, there's a conversation that goes on between them. And he's utilizing every opportunity he gets, okay, to do that. And I've been challenged enough to see that I want to be part of that conversation even with my children. Where I'm taking every opportunity to have conversations with them. And even for my daughter, that one, I don't want to favor her so much, but I want to be the same role I'm doing to the son, even to her, okay? So that she experiences, they all have the same experience. When I'm not there, they'll be like, yeah, dad took care of all of us. He was there for all of us. Not that he, present. No.
And now we are seeing more and more the importance of that. That if the dad is absent, then there's a problem. And it is for both, whether it's the girl or the boy, that both kids need to see the presence of the father. And it's those presence of the things that you're saying, you're observing your father from afar to be able to speak to him in that way and be able to tell him, Dad, this thing that you are doing with my sister, why aren't you doing it with me? And even in your own way, you're basically telling him, I also need you as much as my sister.
In fact, now that you've said it, I think on Father's Day, I'm going to celebrate him on that capacity.
Where
just to tell him the influence he's been over me, and even my kids, because there's a time ningekuwa kama yeye, where ningekuwa kwa nyumba, TV, mtu akiguza nini niko like mbona umetoa, okay? But just the fact of even seeing a cartoon with my kids, that's something you would have not done. I remember that. So there's a time, hii tabia kulala sasa ndio naelewa. So my dad, there's a time ilikuwa Christmas fulani nikasema nishatoka home, so I'm like, let me treat you guys for you've been treating us throughout our childhood for Christmas. Okay, where you take us for different things. So let me be the one to take up the mantle and treat you. So I was like, what can I do with this guy? So I was like, there's a movie. Can we go watch? So I told my dad, we went as a family to watch this movie. Let me tell you, kidogo hata sikusikia. Tunaona movie hivi tunasikia tu msana lala, anamorota alafu mwanangu ananigonga. Kiangalia mtu umelipia movie.
He's out.
This guy, he's enjoying, but he was like, he was so grateful that actually thought of him
Yeah.
and taking. So that was his sense of peace.
Yes, he's at peace.
That's
it. And you don't realize that sometimes even with couples we fight, not realizing that if someone is able to rest in your presence, they are good. Even just that awkward silence means they are comfortable.
So it's something I got to enjoy. I'm like, okay, actually, see, he slept through the movie, but in the comfort of his family around him.
He's covered.
Okay, he's covered.
Yeah.
And everyone is having fun. So him is like his fun is sleep.
2 minutes, Odek. Yeah. Now, tell me, this is, you said, Father's Day is coming now. If you were to see ahead and just advise dads on what it should look like moving forward for Father's Day, as in, if in a perfect world, what are you hoping to see fathers doing with their families moving forward?
I think this would go two ways. If you've not done it before,
Yeah.
or if you're starting now,
Yeah.
it's not too late. Okay, for me, I think every son, every child just wants a genuine relationship with their father, and that's what I'd ask fathers to. Would you start even just asking the question of how are you, or how you feel?
As simple as that.
As simple as that. Okay, because it goes a long way from those moments. For most times you think it has to be complicated.
Yeah.
In these few minutes we have, I had a parent who one day we were telling him, you'll have to talk to your son for a few, like 4 hours.
Yeah.
He looked at me and told me, you must be crazy. I asked him why. He's like, I've never had this conversation with my son for 4 hours, even 2 hours, or even 1 hour, even a minute. What am I going to tell him for 4 hours?
For 4 hours.
Then he came up to me and told me, can you give me a script of what I'm going to say? And I was just thinking, and I'm like, imagine if you created this, you'll never find yourself in such a space where you're trying to catch up.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So don't do catch up. Start from the smallest, where you say, asking the question, how are you? How are you feeling? You're in school. What's going on in school? Okay? Even just taking coffee na muangaliane. Story itatoka. Because I think we make this thing look like it's a movie and a thing that needs to explode, or a premiere that needs to. No. Mwambe tuende coffee. Muangaliane hapo. But what they'll see is you actually trying to have that relationship with them. Interesting.
So it's not a question of quantity versus quality. As long as you are present, then it works.
Hata kama una words. If you see that tea we go and take with my dad, this is how it started. We went, sat down, sikuwa na Junini tunaongelelea. Akakaa hapo anakunywa chai yake, mimi niko hapo hivi. But
I looked at everyone.
Watu wana nini stories kaanza tu kupik. He'll ask you, hey, watoto kwaje? What's going on? Kazi, nini? But I realized this guy was not against you. It was actually for me. Okay? And just that time he took to sit with me. Even with nothing to say. That went a long way.
Imagine. And now I see how proud he is. My advice for dads moving forward would be for looking forward. I really wish dads found a place where they can be together as dads. We do not have a community of fathers. So fathers are going through raising their sons or daughters, not knowing if they are doing the right thing or they are not doing the right thing, or feeling like they are failing, but in reality they are succeeding. Because there's no really one way of doing it. The way you're doing it is the right way. The way I'm doing it is the right way. Because this kid has been put in my care to be raised in the way I know how to raise them. And as I raise them the way I know how to raise them, this means this kid will be very different from your child. Then there'll be a diversity moving forward. But there's an encouragement for being able to come together as dads and be able to tell you, Odek, you're doing a good job. Keep on. Oh, this is, no, don't worry. That one comes and passes. When I was starting to raise my kids, I thought my boy would die of hunger. Because we were starting life, we had nothing, we were broke. And 1 year passed, 2 years passed, and I'm realizing, I can do it. Now I can encourage another dad and tell him, yes, this is your first child. It may look like you guys have nothing, but just know it is possible. So a community of dads. That's one thing that I'm looking forward to.
Nice. Yeah. For fathers, you got this. You got this. Yes. Yeah.
So happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Yep. And something that Burale said, being a man is hard, but being a man is a privilege.
Yes.
So again, take it as you are an honor to this generation and the children that we father. So, yeah, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Thank you very much.